Hello, I'm here. I start the tour right now. It took a little bit of time to arrive at in the position. It's very dark in here where I am, and the sky is clear, but for the moment I cannot see too much. I'm in mașină. It's only the moon and the lights of the city. I hope we'll have some. Hello, Rosie. I'm trying to. It's only a star shining on the sky. And I wait for the Perseides. I'm in Romania. I'm in Gimbab. It's a small town in Transylvania, very close to Dracula's castle, where I will be for a tour Monday. And you can see the cricket around us. It's pretty warm outside, about 25 degrees, I think. Yeah, the astronomy, it's a very beautiful science. I really hope to have the luck to see something. You can see the lights of the National Road 1, which goes to Brașov. This is actually my second tour in here with you, and it's about it's about luck. Let's see on the sky. Only the stars shining, but I can't wait for the. I can see the Perseides for the moment. They said the astronomer said that 12-13 August it's the maximum period when the Perseides could be seen the best. I'm very close to a lake here. Yeah, only the moon is looking to us right now. Probably will. I hope to have the luck to see something. Not even the major stars. I can see it here. That's why I said only 15 minutes, because this is something like the bear watching. we have some tours near Brașov. It's we have a lot of forests around in here. I will try to tell you some other things till the Perseides will coming. We have a lot of forests, and we have like 6,000 bears in Romania, into the Carpathians, which are a very big number of bears actually. They are walking around. Sometimes they create troubles to the people, but the Romanians trying to export them in some countries which lost the bear population. And there are some special places into the forest where you can go with the ranger. The ranger puts some food for the bears into a place, into a very specific place, and then we are going into a small chalet situated to about 200 meters away from the feeding place. and we stay to watch the bears coming to eat. And sometimes we have to wait like 40 minutes, some of the times like 1 hour, till the bears are coming to eat the food. But in 8 cases from 10, we have luck. In the other 2, the bears are not coming. So with the Perseides, it's pretty much pretty much the same thing like with the bears, excepting the fact that we are not put food for the Perseides to make them come to us to see it. So probably one day I will go to do a live for the bears watching in here. Yes. And oh, no, I thought I saw something, but no, it wasn't only a lonely star on the. I will try to make some lights to see me at least. And yeah, let's see. I think now it's much better. I get inside of the car, trying to stay here in light to watch for the Perseides and tell you some other stories, because it's very dark outside and we're in Transylvania. You know that the legends are saying that one of the characters used to live here in Transylvania are the vampires of Mr. Bram Stoker from his novel Dracula. So that's why we have all the time the garlic with us, just to be safe, no, against them. The idea is that if we are not seeing for the moment the Perseides, I will try to tell you some stories about something else. The fact is that we don't have too many stories about vampires here in Transylvania. We have stories about another type of undead characters in our mythology called strigoi, are people which are raising from the grave after their death. And there are another stories about some bad fairies, if exist bad fairies on this world. And that bad fairies called Iele in Romanian are coming in the summer, in July actually. And if they find a man on the field during of the night and they are starting to dance around him, that man could be in a big trouble. He could die actually because of that. And a lot of other beliefs connected with these mythological characters. For example, we have another character, another witch, which actually punish the ladies which work in celebration days, which are coming and punish them for this thing. So like any other nation, these bad characters exist in our mythology as well as in other countries. And Dracula became very popular in here just because of Mr. Bram Stoker, which actually doesn't came here to Transylvania to watch the territory and to see everything which happened here. He actually found some stories about the cruelty of Vlad written by his enemies, and he read it. He had some stories of his Hungarian friend, which was living here in Transylvania. And tomorrow, during the tour of Brașov, my home city, I will tell you how those Hungarians around to practically starting to live here in Transylvania. And that's why, in this way, Mr. Bram Stoker wrote his novel about Dracula. And actually, he made like a combination between Vlad the Impaler, the real character, which stay at the basics of Dracula, which was a Wallachian and Romanian prince from the south of Romania. As you know, he punished the people, impaling them. And in the same time, it was another countess, a Hungarian countess living in Cluj-Napoca, called Elizabeth Báthory. It was a movie made 6 years ago, I think, about her. She used to take bath in blood of young girls just to maintain her skin fresh, probably because the cream, the moisturizing creams wasn't invented into the 16th century. And probably Bram Stoker made a combination between her and Dracula and created this fabulous character, which actually became so popular and famous all over the world. And we have the luck here in Brasov because we are very close to his castle, to his Dracula's castle, about 30 kilometers, probably 30 minutes by the car, something like this. So that's why I will use the opportunity Monday to do a tour inside of the castle. And of course, it's the same connecting with the Perseides. The reason that we are here tonight. The idea is that when you see a falling star, you have to make a wish, and to hope that wish will happen in time. But for the moment tonight, as far as I can see, the Perseids are late to appear. Probably that it's some air traffic, pretty crowded. So that's why probably they don't have a way to come tonight to us. I will try to watch the sky to see if something happens. And as far as I can see, it's only a star. It's not a plane. It's definitely something which is moving there. Yeah, I'm really sorry about this. But if we are here, I will try to use the time to ask you if you have some questions maybe to ask me about Romania, to tell you if we are here. Maybe you have some curiosities about this country, or about I don't know what is to be seen in here. I don't know how many things do you know about us. Probably not many. The marketing of Romania is not a very good one. But anyway, I will try during of my tours to tell you and to explain you many things, because this is a simply surprising country, as I like to say, because there are many unknown things. And all my tourists, because I'm a travel guide since 16 years ago, and all my tourists which I had in here, coming from pretty much all over the world, including Canada, United States, United Kingdom, Japan, Australia, they all was very surprised to find in here a lot of things. That's why I said, how do Romanians feel about Russia? Between the commas, the Russians are our friends. No, they were always here near us. We had troubles with them all the time. If you think about the fact that our nation is here since at least 2,000 years old, I can tell you that around us was growing 5 big empires. All of them are gone now, and we are still here. And I talk about the Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, Russian Empire, Soviet Empire, and also Hungarian Empire. So yes, we don't feel very good about Russians. That what do Mr. Putin today in Ukraine? It's something over the law and near the law and illegal in all the positions that you want to see it. But we are pretty calm because we know them, they know us. And in 1968, because we are speaking about the Russians, to answer to your question, when Soviet Union invaded Czechoslovakia, Romania was part of the territory controlled by the Russian. We were a socialist communist country, and our president from that time, it had the courage to come into a public meeting of the people in Bucharest and openly criticized that invasion of Czechoslovakia by the Russians, by the Soviets. and he actually prepared the army for an invasion, and he was very determined to not let any any tank of Russian enter in Romania and do things here. So they knew us very well, and they knew that if we decided to stop them to enter and to pass by here, we'll do it. Because as we kept the Ottoman Empire together with the Hungarian Kingdom for about 200 years away from our borders and away from the borders of Occidental Europe to enter and invade Europeans, we'll do the same with them. And plus, we had the luck that we are in NATO in this moment. So being part of NATO, it's a very big advantage, because the Russians will not start a war with NATO, because if they will do that mistake, in my opinion, will be their last war, because they will lose it and probably will not hear about Russia for many years. So yes, we are pretty much against them. To answer to your question. Other questions? So there are 50-50 Muslim Christians. Where, Jean? Where are 50-50 Muslim Christians? In Romania? No, in Romania, actually, as a country, we are about 80%, 85% Greek Orthodox, and the rest are about 7% are Roman Catholics, and the rest are Protestants, as we call it. So religions which are part of the Protestant Church. And as a curiosity, because you mentioned it, we are the single Latin country, because we are a Latin country. We speak a Latin language, like Spanish, like Italian, like French. And we are the single Latin country which is Greek Orthodox, because all the others are Roman Catholic. And the Polish are the single Slavic nation which is Roman Catholic, because all the Slavs are Greek Orthodox. So we used to say that we are here in Romania, an island of Latinity into a sea of Slavs. So we resisted pretty well here during of the centuries. So I told you we are here since at least 2,000 years ago. I do not mention the 4,000 years before our direct ancestors, which exist populations and living here and creating material cultures. So and the Muslims, we don't have too many, because the Ottomans, the Turks from the Ottoman Empire, they were settled in Romania, mostly near the Black Sea coast, which was occupied by the Turks for about 400 years. And are some Turks, are some Muslims in Romania, but they live with us very well. They do not create us any kind of troubles. And now with the refugees from Syria, I can tell you that we are not a target for them. Romania is not an attractive country for them. Many of them being asked why you are not going to Romania, they said, "What's Romania? What's there?" So and plus, speaking about how we live with the other populations which are near us, I can say that we are like a Europe, like a miniature Europe, because in Transylvania, for example, are living together since at least 1,000 years, all together, Hungarians, Germans, and Romanians, which have also different religions. The Romanians are Greek Orthodox, the Germans are, part of them Roman Catholics, part of them Lutherans, and the Hungarians are also part of them Catholics, part of them Lutherans or Calvinists. And in Brașov, in my city, for example, exists a street, the main street from my city, where in 1 kilometer exist 3 churches, one near the other. One is Roman Catholic, belonging to the Hungarians. One is Greek Orthodox, belonging to the Romanians, and the other one it's Lutheran, belonging to the Germans. So 3 churches, 3 different congregations living on the same street in peace since many years, because we doesn't have religious wars in Transylvania. It's very good, in my opinion. And speaking about the Lutheran Church of the Germans, it's considered to be the largest Gothic church between Vienna and Istanbul, and it's called the Black Church. I will have it tomorrow in my tour to see it from outside, maybe from inside if They will not have scheduled an organ concert as they usually have every Saturday. So that's why it's a very good example of living of living together in peace. That's about the populations which are living in Romania together with us. Till the Perseides are coming, I've decided to to talk with you about other subjects. So that's why I'm asking you again. If you have another questions to ask me about Romania and about the situation from here, you can do it without problems, because I will try to answer to you to everything that you will ask me. I'm looking on the sky again. Let's see. Now the Perseides decided to not show tonight. I don't know why. I was thinking that we'll have luck, but unfortunately tonight only the crickets are here singing their song. And Monday in here it's August 15th. In Romania it's a very important religious celebration of Virgin Mary. And usually we used to say that after this day of August 15th, the summer it's actually gone. It's starting to go away, and the weather starting to become a little bit cooler than during of the summertime. So actually Monday, according with the astronomy in Romania, and according with the time, we are pretty much to the end of the summer. Let's see. No, I'm watching, but no. Fortunately, we don't have the luck. We have only the moon, which is a full moon tonight in here. But that's all pretty much. Yep. Yeah, tomorrow on the daylight will be something else, and the objectives, the buildings from Brașov will be there, are not coming from any other place, to waiting for it. And Monday on Dracula's Castle, I will be there. I will enter inside of it, and will be a better tour than today. I just try to tonight to come here, hoping that I will do a very special life, but we don't have luck. Yep. Okay, let's see. Maybe no. Yeah, and talking about us. Maybe you hear in many movies or in some historic books the name of Wallachia, and that's the name which was given to the Romanians during the medieval times, and it's a name which it means a country which speaks or a population which speaks the Latin language. It's a very old word. It's a very old word. Took from the Germans by the Slavs, and the Germans had a word which was pronounced, if I'm not wrong, Wallen. They used that word to nominate all the populations living along the Roman Empire border. And when the Slavs attacked the Germans and were defeated by the Germans and enslaved by the Germans, by the way, the name slave came from the enslaved Slavs. And they took from the Germans this word, Wallen, and transformed it from Wallen to Vlachen, Walachen. And when the Slavs met us, they called us Valakhs and the country Wallachia. And all the medieval age, all the modern age, starting with 1600, we were called Valakhs by by the other nations, by the other people. And when in 1859 was created the modern Romania with this name of Romania, many nations said, "Oh, look, it's a new nation." No, it wasn't a new nation, because we used to call ourselves Romanians, and the country was also called Romania. Welcome, Esther. We're starting to talk about Romania's history because the Perseides are not coming in this moment. I don't know why. And I asked the people which come here, hello Deborah, to ask me if they have curiosities about Romania, to ask me things, to ask me questions, to tell you if you have something to clear, just because we have time till the Perseides will decide to appear. And I will I was telling you about the history of Romania and about the name of Valax, which was given to us during the medieval times, which was meaning a country which was speaking the Latin language. With all this, the fact that we have the grammar and the majority of the vocabulary it's Latin, we still have about 10% of our words coming from the Slavic language. From the Slavic, it's actually the basic language for the Russian from today. So that's why, for example, our yes, it's pronounced da, exactly like the Russians do in their language, because the Slavs lived with us for about 100 years, till the moment when they melt in our mass of population, and they left us a lot of traces into the vocabulary. Plus, another curiosity, because we were speaking about religions a little bit later, we received the Christian religion in the moment when the Romanian nation wasn't created yet, because it was a mixture between our direct ancestors, the Dacians, and the Roman conquerors, which we used to call it Dacian Romans. And those Dacian Romans were baptized. Were receiving the Christianity from the Slavs, from the Bulgarians. And for this reason, we have in our language the main languages of the Christian religion, like for example cross, which is cruce, biserică, church, which came from basilica, angel, which is înger, coming from Latin, because we were Latins, we were speaking a Latin language. But all the technical words from our religion, from the Greek Orthodox religion, are coming from the Slavic language. Like for example, slujbă, which it means religious service, or priest, like preot. So are many words which are coming from the Slavic language because of this. And that's why many words in Hi Regina, hi Danette, hi Robert. I wait for the Perseides to appear. They decided to not appear tonight, so that's why I'm talking with you about another things about Romania. So if you have some questions to ask me about Romania, Romanians, history, culture, I can tell you a lot of things. And I think that's something that you might be interested, will be the weddings. How are the weddings in here? And I know that in the United States, in other countries, usually the wedding it's organized by the father of the bride. I saw a lot of movies which are speaking about this kind of thing. Well, in Romania, it's a little bit different. The wedding is actually paid by the guests. So the wedding is organized on a restaurant where all the guests which are coming at the end of the party, they have to pay an amount of money which represents the meal and the band, and plus an extra bonus for the young couple to have it as a start in their new life. And the wedding ceremony and all the wedding procedures are starting from the house of the groom, which is actually living with the musicians, which are actually a saxophone and an accordion, and they are living to the house of the grandparents, which are waiting for them with drinks, with cookies, with this kind of stuff. And after a small treatment, couple of glasses of wine drank, a little bit of dances, of music, they are going together by their cars to the house of the bride. And when they arrive to the house of the bride, they knock at the door. The door is open. Appears the mother of the bride asking, "What do you want?" "We want the bride." "Okay, wait for a minute." She closed the door, and appeared a young lady of about 16 years old, dressed like a bride. And she said, "Look, your bride?" "No, no, that's too young. I want my bride." And then will appear another mature woman, an old lady, also dressed as a bride. And finally, the bride comes. They are entering into the house. They are also receiving a small treaty with cookies, with wine, with brandy. They dance a little bit. It's a lot of joy there. The musicians are singing because that's why they are there. And then they are leaving to the city hall for the civil wedding. And only after that, they are going to the church for the religious service, which took about 30 minutes. And after the religious service are some pictures which are done into the park of the city or near of the most important monument from the locality. Pictures with all the people which attending there. I will tell you, Robert, in a minute. Why do you think Romania sided with Germany during World War II? It's a very good question. I will answer you in a second. And after that, they are going to the restaurant for the party. And during of the party, it's a very important moment, which is called the kidnapping of the bride. Because some of the young gentlemen which attending to the wedding, they are kidnapping the bride with the approving of the bride, of course. And they are leaving from the wedding. They are calling for the godfather. And they said, if you want the bride back, you have to pay. Of course, they are paying in drinks, in whiskey, in wine, in this kind of stuff. They are coming back with the bride. They receive their prize, and the wedding could continue. To answering, yes, Diana, yes, it's a smart way to do it. Yes, it's true because the spending money are huge. So to answer to the question of Robert, Romania sided with Germany during World War II for a very simple reason. All the time in all our history, which is longer than 2,000 years ago, as I told you, we try to keep all our territories between the same frontiers. In this moment, we have this situation minus 33%. Republic of Moldova, it's a Romanian territory occupied by the Soviets in the 40s, as I will tell you. In Ukraine, we have another Romanian territory which is there, and in Hungary a little bit, and in Serbia a little bit, and in Bulgaria a little bit. So all our neighbors have a small piece from our original territory. That's why we used to say that our safest neighbor, it's the Black Sea, because no, doesn't attack us anytime. So when the World War II started for us like this. Germany, Hitler with Horthy, the leader of Hungary, they decided that northwest of Transylvania have to go to Hungary. Our king from that time, Karol II, accepted it, and when the Hungarians entered in the northwest of Transylvania to occupy that territory, they've done the same type of massacres like the Serbians done in Bosnia or in Croatia during the war from 1991. So, which is a remember that we couldn't forget too easy. After 1 month from this moment, Stalin sent us another ultimatum, and he said, "I want the Republic of Moldova for me." And our king, Karol II, the same, said, "Yes, you can have it." As a small parenthesis, our king, it was a playboy king, preoccupied mostly by the ladies than to rule the country. So when Hitler came to us and asked the general of the Romanian army, Ion Antonescu, which was the leader of the state, because our next king, the son of Karol II, Michael I, it was underage. It was 17 years old. He said to Hitler, "Yes, we'll go with you against Russia because we doesn't have the Russians at all. Soviets, as you imagine, we don't love them. So we go with you over the Russians to get back the Republic of Moldova, our territory." So that's why we were allies with Hitler. So we go to Soviet Union. in June 22nd, 1941, we liberate Republic of Moldova, but we made the big mistake to cross the river Dnieper, which was the border between our territory, Republic of Moldova, and the Soviet Union. So we go to Stalingrad. You know, all of you, what's happened there to Stalingrad. The Russians won. We and the Germans left, and the Russians start to push us back. And in that moment, we realized that we could lose everything if we don't switch sides. So the king on a side and Ion Antonescu, the marshal of the army, on the other side, starting to have treaties with the allies to switch sides. And the condition it was, of course, to recover our northwest of Transylvania from the Hungarians, a Republic of Moldova from Stalin. And then Stalin told us the next thing. I will help you to take back the northwest of Transylvania, which for us is the womb of our nation, like Kosovo is for the Serbs. But you have to let me, in exchange, Republic of Moldova. So we do the treat, we do the exchange, and in August 23rd, 1944, we switch sides against the Germans with the Allies. And this switch sides, it was a very good thing for the war, because we shorted the war with about 6 months. Because we have the Carpathians, which are surrounding Transylvania like a wall, and if the Germans with us were starting to resist on the passes of the Carpathians, it was very difficult for the Russians to pass us, and that's why I said that our movement, our switch sides from August 1944, was shorted the war, the Second World War, with about 6 months. So we go with the Russians over the Germans to Berlin. We stopped in Czechoslovakia because this was the order of the Soviets. The bad part for us, it was that on the Yalta Treaty, when Mr. Churchill, Mr. Roosevelt, and Stalin was meeting together to split Europe between them, Mr. Churchill and Mr. Roosevelt said that Romania have to be on the side of the Russians together with all the other countries, and we remained for about 45 years under the domination of the Soviets. And for the country like Romania, which was against the communism, with long democratic and monarchic tradition, that was very bad. I will not say broken promises, Diane, because Roosevelt and Churchill have two armies which was very tired after a very long war. And to put your army to fight again against the Soviets, it was very difficult, and I'm not very convinced that the British and the Americans will accept to fight against the ally, till that moment the Soviets, to liberate the East Europe. That was the situation there. And as I told you, an old nation like ours, since 2,000 years ago, we saw a lot of things during of the time. We lost territories, we take it back after 100 years, after 50 years, and we are still here. So that's why I can't be very mad on the British and on the Americans for doing this, because I understand them somehow. Even that the generation of my grandparents, they lived all their lives with the hope that the Americans will come and will liberate them from the Russians, from the Soviets. But that's history, it's in the past, and now we finally are together with the Americans, with the British, with the French, with all the Occidental Europe, in European Union, in NATO, and we are for the first time in the last 2,000 years protected. We are feeling protected being part of NATO and European Union, because it's something that doesn't happen till this moment in our history. So that's the story. That's why we joined Germany in the World War II, not because we like the ideas of that crazy guy called Adolf Hitler, but because we try to recover our territories and to keep our territories between the same frontiers. It's the story of our lives. You're welcome, Robert. And if you have other questions, I wait for it. And what can I say? I've told you about the weddings. With the baptism, it's pretty much the same thing. It's like a smaller wedding, because the people which are attending, if on a wedding, could be 150 to 100 people for the party. In on a baptism of a child, will be like 80, 100 people. And the child is baptized in the Greek Orthodox religion at 40 days after the birth. So actually, after 40 days, we are going to the church. It's a beautiful ceremony there. It's a beautiful religious service, and the child is baptized in water, being sunk under the water into a big pot, into a big vase made by metal. Of course, it's not drowned, because the priest do this very fast, uh, putting his hand over the mouth and the nose of the young baby, and he putting him 3 times under the water in the name of the Saint Trinity, of course, Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. And that's because we believe that the people are 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 coming on this world into the original sin of Adam, so they have to die between the comas, uh, and then that's why they are and put it behind water, like they are putting into a grave, and then they are revival. They are coming out from the grave into a new life, into the new faith in Jesus Christ and in God. That's the reason that we are doing the baptism, sang the people under the water, and not only pouring water on the head, like is done in other religions. It's an interpretation of the full immersion baptism. Exactly. Yes, that's the right name. That's the interpretation that the like John the Baptist. Exactly. That's the interpretation that we have it. Maybe because the Greek Orthodox Church, it's very close to the first teachings of Jesus Christ, of the apostles, and of the first uh, I don't know, thinkers and monks of the Christian religion. And it's pity that this big and important Christian religion was split in so many cults. First, after in 15 first in 1054, when was the big schisma, between the big break between Orthodox and Catholics. And then, after the reform of Martin Luther, I will speak tomorrow during my brush off tour about the reform of Martin Luther and its effects here in Romania and in Transylvania. It was breaking into the Protestant religions, but some things remains. And I didn't know, Diana, that full immersion, it's made in many other Protestant religions. It's a good fact. I think it's a good fact. And the differences are not too big between us and another religions. Maybe theological, if you want, in the interpretation of the Gospels and of all the other thing. Also, we have something that we call the saint tradition, which actually is all the tradition of the Christian Church since Christ till today, and which also give to our church a lot of examples of normal Christian life. So that's with the that's with the baptism in Romania, and with the weddings, two very important moments in the life of any person on this world. Of course, there are a lot of things that usually after the wedding, the young couple, it's asked, like probably in many other cultures, when you have a baby. So that's one of the first questions. And that with the babies, it was starting to become a problem in here too, because the families have usually mostly one children, in some cases two, very rare three or more. A couple of years ago, the Romanian government have done a very good thing. They paid some money for the mothers to give birth to the children. Actually, they said, if you have a child, as a mother, we give you 75% from your wage to stay home 2 years and to take care of your baby. And this was happened in between 2002 and 2014, something like this, for about 14 years. And the facts, I can see it because it was a period when the majority of the families have like 2 children, give birth to about 2 children. So it was something good which helped us to raise a little bit the natality in Romania. Something which, as I heard from my tourists, which I had in these last 16 years since I'm a licensed guide in Romania, they told me that it's something good which doesn't exist in their countries actually. So that's a story, and I don't know, for connecting with the school system, because we talk about the children. It's pretty much the same system like in many other countries, with kindergarten, with a kindergarten for the children, young children, all starting with 3 years old till 6 years old. They are going there. Starting with 6, 7 years old, they are going to the elementary school, which have about 8 years. And in the 4 years, they have a teacher, which is the same teacher, which stay with them and teach them how to read, how to write, how to draw, all this kind of stuff. And then from the 5th grade, they doesn't have a specific teacher to take care of us. They have a lot of professors. And after 8 years of elementary school, they can have an exam to go to the high school for about 4 years. And after 4 years of high school, they have the bachelor degree, which give them the possibility to join a university, which could be between 3 and 6 years of study. 6 years, of course, for the faculty of medicine, because you have to study there a little bit more and more serious. And one of the largest universities in Romania is the one from Cluj-Napoca in Transylvania. It's a university which have about 40,000 students, which are taught in Romanian, English, Hungarian, and German. It's called the University Babes-Bolyai from Cluj. Victor Babes, it was a Romanian scientist, and János Bolyai, a Hungarian scientist. That's why the university have their names into the official name of the university. And it's one of the best universities in Romania. And another two important universities are in Bucharest, which is the capital of the country, and of course it's a university which is very old there. It's a tradition in Bucharest. And another one is in Iași, which is a city in our part of Moldova, because I told you a little bit before that the Republic of Moldova was took from us by the Soviets in the Second World War. But Moldova, as a medieval state, was composed from Republic of Moldova and the western half, Moldova, which is now part of Romania. It's a region of Romania. That's why it could be a little bit confusing for a foreigner to, when I speak about Moldova, to think about the Republic of Moldova instead of our region. The history of Romania, like the history of Europe, it could seem very complicated for the people which, or to the people which are living outside of the continent, because are so many wars, are so many things which was happening here, and could be complicated, but in fact is not. If you look to the facts clearly and from above, to say like this, and to see the whole thing, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple, in fact. What can I say? I'm really sorry that the Perseides doesn't come tonight. I hope that if I'm correct, I'm with you since at least 1 hour. I see 58 minutes on my counter here, and I hope that are people fearful these days about the Ukrainian situation? No, we're not fearful about the Ukrainian situation too much, because as I told you, all the Romanians know that we are part of NATO. We know that the Soviets, the Russians, Soviets, the same thing, will not, thank you, Diane, will not fight with NATO. So that's why we are not very afraid because of this. Plus, as I told you before, we know the Russians very well. They knew us very well, and they knew that we'll fight till the last man to keep them out from our country, because as we fought 2000 years to keep our territories between the same frontiers, we'll do the same with them. So they will not mess with us at all. Plus, in the last 50 years, they developed a kind of a sympathy for us. They consider us like, I don't know, like close friends. But what kind of friends we could be with them when they try many times to take territories from our country, as they done with the Republic of Moldova. So no. Plus, we are pretty sure that they will not do nothing against us. So that's why we are pretty relaxed with this war in Ukraine, with this vicinity of the Russians. We are doing our things. We are going to job. We are continuing our lives. We know that the war is there. We know that Mr. Zelensky and Ukraine are sustained very well by NATO. We took care about the Ukrainian refugees in a very good way, as far as I can see and I can say. Are about 6,000 Ukrainians which are work in this moment legally in Romania. So we gave them assistance from uh, in this bad situation for them. So plus we have Romanians which are living in Ukraine, because as I told you, a small part from the north of Romania after the Second World War, because of the Russians, was occupied by the Soviets and was given to the Ukrainians by Nikita Khrushchev. So do not understand that the Ukrainians invade us and took our territories. No, they were part of the Soviet Union. That was the thing. So we had with the Ukrainians all the time good relations, and do not have issues with them. Maybe 10 years ago it was a small problem, because they dug a channel which affected a little bit the Danube Delta, which is on our territory, but that was solved in that moment. So now we are okay with this. So to answer to your question, finally answer, no, we are okay with the situation from Ukraine. I mean, we are relaxed. We are not okay with what happened there. But in my opinion, it was much better to put pressure on Putin and on Russia since 2014, when he attacked and occupied Crimea. The people from the west of Europe wait a little bit too long, 8 years, to start to do something against him. Because with the Russians, we learn a lesson. With the Russians, it's good to be tough. If you are not so tough, you are permissive, they can do bad things to you. We have a word in Romania speaking about the Russians, which is like this: if you let Ivan to get up, if you let Ivan alone, he will get up on your table. So if you not stay close with your eyes on Ivan, the Ivan will get your table, get your home, and will create you troubles. And another moment to mention it, during the anti-communist revolution of Romanians from 1989, it was a moment when the Soviets, when the Russians offers us help to get rid of the terrorists between the comas, which was killing our population, defending our former president Nicolae Ceausescu. And the general of the Romanian army said, no, we'll not let you to come us with your army in our country to help us, because we knew that if you are entering Romania, you will never leave. So stay there on your country, don't come in here, because if you will do it, we'll shoot to kill. So they stayed out. From this point of view, we knew how to talk with them. So that's why, plus we have another word in Romania connected with the Russians, and the word is like this: question. Which are the neighbors of Russia? Which neighbors Russia wants to be? In translation, they could be neighbors which they could create their neighbors, like now, no? they will be neighbors with us because they conquer that territory from Ukraine, and they will be neighbor with us on the Black Sea level. So exactly as I told you, which are the neighbors of Russia? Exactly the neighbors that Russia decided to be. That's the thing with them. Okay, I'm forced to stop here the story because, as far as I can see, the Perseides are not coming, and I hope I'm not bother you and I'm not boring you with my stories about Romania. Anyway, you're welcome, Diane. I invite you all, if you want and you have time, to join me Monday on my tour inside of Dracula's castle, which is 30 kilometers away from here. I'll have a tour inside of Dracula Castle, and tomorrow I'll have a tour in Brașov, my home city, and I will talk to you there. You're welcome, Sabina. I wish you, all of you, a good day, because in America, in United States now it's daylight. In here it's night. It's about 11 p.m. I will go to sleep, and I will meet you Monday on the fabulous tour of Dracula's Castle. Thank you all, and uh, I wish you to have a peaceful day and a very successful day to all of you. Thank you very much.